Joe, how much protein should I eat? Alex, how many carbohydrates should I be eating daily? And then maybe what's my fat intake looking like? So they want to have direction. They want to have some guardrails set up for them. And so these recommendations are based on like a highly active individual, which I think is safe to assume the athletes, especially at this time of year, are all going to kind of fall into that category. Okay, so these are precision nutrition. These are kind of general guidelines for athletes, not necessarily looking to add poundage to their frames, but just maintain. Because again, some of the guys who've done a lot of good work in the past 3 or 4 months don't want to backslide 5 or 10 pounds now that the season has come along, right? So the protein recommendation that we have, and these are based per pound, right? So every athlete might be a little bit different. Guys should be living somewhere in like the 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound range. Some of these also might differ. If you go and like you're Googling it or something, you might see stuff that looks a little different because they might be going off of kilograms for body weight instead of pounds. So athletes that are guys, 1 to 1 grams per pound of protein. And then ladies, it's a little bit less, but it's like 75 all the way up to like a 1. So that scale slides a little bit, again, depending on your frame, how you hold weight, all of that stuff. But those are good kind of rules of thumb to follow. And, with nutrition in general, okay, this is also like a little caveat. Everyone's going to respond a little bit differently, right? So it's really hard, especially for us in the situation we're in as kind of like coaches, right? Full-blown dietitians or anything like that, to give you hard and fast rules. You're just going to have to kind of manipulate your diet and see what works best for you and, where you feel the best, what the scale is saying, all the other kind of metrics that you're looking at to decide what's working and what's not. So we got the 1 to 1.5 for guys. We got the to 1 roughly for the girls as far as protein intake. If we want to move to the next one, carbohydrate, and this is one that's the numbers, if you're looking at them, you might be like, oh my gosh, that seems like a lot. Guys are like 2 to 3 grams of carbohydrate per pound. And then the women are basically right there along with them. Okay. 2 to 3 grams of carbohydrate per pound. And again, this is in the context of a highly active athlete who needs to make sure that they are primed and feeling the energy through their nutrition to go compete on the field, and then also give them the kind of nutrition they need to recover day over day, right? And then the last one, that's fat. And this one we might not talk as much about because from my perspective, usually athletes are getting their fat in. Like rarely do we have somebody like, hey, here's my 3-day nutrition log. And we're like, man, you're really low on your fat content. Usually just through like, natural protein sources and things like that, they'll get enough fat in. But that one is like 1 to 1 grams of fat per pound of body weight, right? And then the idea, again, like I said, is mess with those metrics and see what works best for you and what response your body gives as you're kind of going through that.